alleged reasons for non-disclosure of extraterrestrial visitation, and the contradictions of power. Introduction. The question of whether extraterrestrials have visited or are currently visiting Earth remains a subject of deep fascination, speculation, and controversy. While numerous whistleblowers, military personnel, and independent researchers have claimed that contact has occurred, official government disclosure remains elusive. A common justification provided by the so-called powers that be for withholding such information is that humanity is not ready, that the truth would shatter global belief systems, disrupt economies, and cause mass psychological breakdowns. However, this rationale becomes increasingly suspect when contrasted with the historical and ongoing behavior of these same institutions toward humanity. The alleged justification: protecting humanity from the truth. Governments and elite institutions often assert that disclosing the presence of extraterrestrials would cause mass panic and societal collapse, citing historical examples like the public response to Orson Welles' War of the Worlds radio drama, religious disillusionment, fearing that mainstream religious systems would falter if confronted with undeniable evidence of intelligent life beyond Earth, geopolitical destabilization, as advanced technology from other worlds could dramatically shift global power balances or render current economic systems obsolete. This line of reasoning hinges on the idea that the average person is too emotionally or psychologically fragile to handle such a revelation, a paternalistic stance that presumes a level of moral guardianship. Contradictions in the behavior of the powers that be. Despite these proclaimed concerns for humanity's well-being, history reveals a pattern of systemic exploitation, violence, and manipulation by those in power. These contradictions cast serious doubt on the sincerity of their stated motives for non-disclosure. Warfare and mass death. The 20th and 21st centuries have been marked by near-continuous wars: World War I and II, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Israel-Palestine, as well as others, frequently justified under the guise of national security or humanitarian intervention. Millions of civilians, including children, have died as collateral damage. If the powers that be truly prioritized human psychological stability, the use of advanced weaponry, mass displacements, and genocides would contradict that principle. Economic exploitation and poverty engineering. Global financial systems have been manipulated repeatedly, from the 2008 financial crash to ongoing wealth inequality, often benefiting elites at the expense of the public. Institutions like the International Monetary Fund and World Bank have been accused of imposing economic policies that impoverish developing nations under the guise of aid. Disclosure of extraterrestrial energy or technology that could disrupt fossil fuel monopolies may be withheld to maintain economic control, not out of concern for humanity's welfare. Sexual abuse and exploitation scandals. High-profile abuse cases. For example, Jewish Mossad agent Jeffrey Epstein and royal family close friend Jimmy Savile reveal systemic child exploitation involving individuals with close ties to royalty, intelligence agencies, and political elites. The deliberate silencing of victims and obstruction of investigations demonstrate a pattern of protecting predators rather than the public. These actions are incompatible with a supposed moral responsibility to shield the population from uncomfortable truths. Psychological operations and mind control. Declassified programs like 𝗚𝗍𝗱𝗏𝗄 CIA experimentation on unwitting civilians, including the use of drugs, trauma, and psychological conditioning. Remote viewing and mind influence research continued covertly, often with little regard for informed consent or ethical boundaries. Such programs indicate a willingness to manipulate mass perception and individual cognition for strategic ends, potentially including the suppression or shaping of UFO narratives, the human resource. Some of the more disturbing allegations made by alleged whistleblowers, abductees, and researchers suggest that claimed visiting extraterrestrials may be using humanity as a resource, a claim that, if true, would drastically reshape the moral framework around non-disclosure. These allegations include the use of humans for entertainment purposes, likening Earth to a kind of psychological or emotional theater for non-human observers, medical experimentation, with parallels to animal testing where humans are allegedly studied for reproductive, neurological, and genetic data, and even harvesting for sustenance, with some testimonies claiming that certain species use human biological materials, blood, organs, or energetic life force as a food source in exchange for access. It is claimed that classified technology exchanges have occurred between extraterrestrial entities and covert factions within governments or intelligence networks. These trades allegedly include advanced propulsion, energy systems, and mind manipulation technologies, suggesting that global powers may be allowing exploitation in return for tools of dominance, all under heavy secrecy and compartmentalization. Conclusion: the argument that disclosure of extraterrestrial contact is withheld to protect humanity collapses under scrutiny when one examines the track record of the institutions making this claim. Their consistent involvement in warfare, economic manipulation, abuse, and psychological control reveals a pattern of maintaining power through deception and fear, not compassion. If extraterrestrials have indeed visited Earth, the real reason for non-disclosure may lie not in protecting the masses, but in protecting the monopoly of control over advanced knowledge, technology, and the narrative of reality itself.